I mean, what do you want me to say? We have just been getting absolutely amazing chapter after amazing chapter, and this one is just no different. From the actual characterization that we get of the force field vessel, he took this job on a lie, saying that he wants nothing more than to protect his nation and protect the people of it, which is just an all true factor and such a realistic character trait of there are probably thousands, if not millions of people like this force field vessel every day in high up positions of just the government, the military, of everything, where you can definitely make it seem like you're doing this out of patriotic reasons, but at the end of the day, look, this guy says it as much. He did it all for money. He's lived his entire life in poverty. His whole family has. And now in this dire moment where the Hashaku member that is the second vessel of the force field is causing so much interference and disruption that they can't kill him, on top of the fact that he's immortal. So the only way they can, at the very least, establish some level of communication with the outside and get reinforcements in is if the main vessel, the original vessel of the force field, dies. So despite knowing that this was never the end to this role that he wanted, even the higher up of the Kamunabi says he's making an admirable decision right now by risking his life to save what might be the entire country. And it's just crazy that like his only reaction to this is, well, this kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I signed up for this and I can't back down now, which is 110% admirable. And the fact that Hokuto arrives in this one moment, the split second of great characterization of this force field guy, to completely kill the higher up and stop him from removing the first vessel of the force field. The amount of tension, and we just don't know what's happening. Everything is so unpredictable. On top of that, you have Yora basically about to kill Azami, and everyone has been worried if that is going to be the case. And even if he did go out here, he would have gone out like an absolute boss, fighting till his last breath. Quite literally, the man is without limbs, without any arms, and yet he still is just throwing kicks and doing everything he can. And with everyone doing everything in their power to somehow participate in this raid and help what seems like completely impossible odds to overcome, the honest to God most valuable player, the MVP and GOAT of this entire arc for me, the underdog, has gotta be Hakuri. Right? Because when Ikuto hopelessly tells Hakuri he's basically the only one left that can do anything because he's not able to use enough of his energy to actually stab through the force field user himself, Hakuri, realizing that this means he's gonna have to take someone's life that's on his side, but also understanding that this is a sacrifice that needs to be made in this moment, does something that is so incredibly sly and at the same time is something that only he could have thought of in that moment. Because where Ikuto tells him to just transport the katana that he used behind the force field user and stab him with it, what Hakuri thinks of is even 10 times better, which is he just teleports the force field user out of the Kamunabi headquarters and keeps him inside of the storage space, which one, keeps this man alive, and two, means that the entire accomplishment of removing the original force field user is still done, and still, at the very least, relinquishes the condition of communication being disrupted. So sure, the enchanted blades can't be let into the Kamunabi headquarters, but now that they can reach people with communication, Shiba, who wastes no time at all, thankfully he's finally on time here, shows up at the very moment that Azami is about to croak and die. And it's gotta be absolutely one of the most hype moments that we have gotten, and that's saying something, right? Because this entire Kamunabi raid has been nothing but pure excitement and thrill. Shiba showing up in a single panel right behind Yora, grabbing him by the tie, and then just teleporting him completely outside of the Kamunabi headquarters. Because even though the enchanted blades can't get into the headquarters, if Shiba teleports Yora outside of the headquarters, then Chihiro and Samura, who are waiting at the very outside of everything, are directly in place where Shiba teleports Yora to. This video is sponsored by GamerSupps, the ultimate energy and focus formula. Use my code NOOP now for 10% off, and thank you GamerSupps for sponsoring the channel. I've gotta say, in one of the most aura-fueled moments in the series, and I know people like to throw around aura moments and hype moments and, oh, that's all this series has. I know so many people like to make that criticism, but I've got to say, the only way, in my opinion, that you are able to achieve a level of aura, a level of just overall tension and on the edge of your seat, biting your lip, waiting to see what is going to happen in this moment. Even though 9 times out of 10, as a battle shonen made for teenagers, we already know the hero is gonna win. At the same time, the level of skill and craftsmanship it takes to piece together a story where you can actually impose that level of aura, that level of confidence, and make it literally drip off of the page is in itself good writing. It may not be writing that everyone is into. I'm not saying that everyone needs to love aura-filled hype moments, but I think it's very important to realize that Yura floating above in the sky, wielding the Shinichi, this sword that as Azami kind of fades and drifts off, having done what he planned to do, hold out at the very least until reinforcements were able to come. He remembers that the only thing that matters is making sure the Shinichi, that 7th enchanted blade, does not get on the loose. And with that being stated, Chihiro and Samura, whose entire arc has been holding all of this guilt and all of this burden in order to handle this on his own, finally being turned around by Chihiro, the son of Kunishige Rokuhira, the one who inadvertently caused all of this to occur, whether we like to admit it or not. And the son, the man that has spent 3 or more years building himself up, growing as a warrior for this exact moment, not just for revenge for his father, as he says in the short flashback, but so that way he can fight together with people that also believed what his father did, that the katana was meant to end evil. The katana was meant to cut down the people that would abuse such weapons like the Shinichi. And whether Kunishige Rokuhira is here to see all of this or not, we already know he is looking down on his son in pride, proud to see that Chihiro is upholding this philosophy, this belief that unfortunately Kunishige only had such little time to impart on his son. And yet here he is, all grown up, standing with Samura, the man that he was able to convince they can break the Shinichi. And again, as Samura and Chihiro stand here facing off against Yura, who is wielding the Shinichi, again, something that no matter what way you put it, and obviously, I feel like the story has so many different places to go, considering we haven't even seen what the other Enchanted Blade wielders have to say about all of this. We know the Sword Saint is still existing down below and has touched base with Yura, whether he is going to take over Yura's body again or not, with the Magatsumi and the malediction beginning to spread throughout Kamunabi headquarters. I will say it one more time. This level of excitement and intrigue in a story can't be achieved without someone like Hokazono behind it, making some of the best writing decisions that a lot of shonen mangaka are just unable to do, it seems, in this day and age. And there is a reason why every single week there is something else to talk about in Kagurabachi. This Kamunabi raid arc has truly been the absolute peak of the mountain for the story, something that we wouldn't have even thought was possible because of how great things were in the Kyoto arc with Hirohiko, the student of freedom, and then even Samura showing up and the whole battle between Chihiro and Samura that got us to this point. It shows that Kagurabachi not only fully understands what it's doing, is completely equipped and ready to deliver on such satisfying payoffs, which just makes me more and more excited to see how this all-out battle between Chihiro and Samura is gonna go against Yura, because we already know 5 Enchanted Blade wielders at the exact same time were barely able to stop the Sword Saint. And while Yura is no Sword Saint, I think we are going to have a climactic, intense battle happen right before our eyes in the next couple of chapters. And I've just got to say, I am fully pumped for it, and I know for a fact anyone reading this series is as well. So guys, hit that like button for another amazing Kagurabachi chapter. Hit the hype button as well, because let's be honest, the hype is not going anywhere anytime soon. And as always, if you're interested in any other series you may read weekly, Dan Da Dan, Gachi Akuta, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, or even Sakamoto Days, Please subscribe so you don't miss any of those reviews or even videos that just discuss overall contents and theories about it, because I've got plenty of topics and discussion like that. And don't forget the main channel exists as well, because there's plenty of long form stuff on there to binge. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.